Hey everyone, it's Serenity. How's it going for you guys today? I thought that for this video, I would let you guys know how I am doing with my progress so far on my changes. Now, I know I haven't been as active on YouTube as I said I would be in my last video, because I had this thing that I would give you guys like recent updates on what was going to be going on, how everything was going, and that just kind of fell into a downward spiral. 2 weeks ago, I was going through major depression. It was because of just the overwhelming amount of work that I felt like I had to do with this change. I wanted to get it done all at once. I didn't take the time to realize until I got out of my depression last week that this is going to be a step-by-step process. What I thought I would focus on first is my personality change. I wasn't able to continue with this change while I was in my depression. My ego was just taking over everything. I would start to question, why am I even doing this change? What is it even for? Why am I even wanting to lose weight? Because I've had such an issue with it for the past few weeks, trying to get down to a certain goal that I'm wanting to. It was in that time period that I had to really focus on myself and recharge my batteries and just my emotions. Just focus on the end result. Focus on my goals. The more I started to realize that I didn't have to go through as much pressure as I felt in the beginning, that's when I started to come back around. Because I remember when I told my mom about it, she was like, oh, let's get you into the doctor, let's get you some medications, and she was so insistent on it. And I didn't want to. I was in depression before, and I was able to get out of it because my husband Sebastian helped me through it. It wasn't really anything big that went through it. I mean, yeah, I got medication for it, but whenever I went back to the doctor, he would only ask me how I'm feeling. It's not really anything like a therapy appointment or anything to focus on initially. It's just, how are you doing? How is that compared to the other weeks you're feeling? That's pretty much it. Well, I felt like I could get over this on my own. I didn't really need anybody's help. And it was frustrating when my mom didn't take my word for it, because she kept saying, oh, let's get you in for an appointment. And that was at least for 3 days until she finally got the hint that I didn't want to do it. I started looking for ways to find happiness since I've been here in April. It's been very difficult for me too, because I've had no support from the family. I've had no help from anybody except for my very best friend, Heather, who has been there for me whenever I needed a break. I haven't had anybody really there to ask me how I'm doing, or I have anybody care for that matter. I've kind of, like I said, just been pushed in the background. Nobody really bothers to ask me anything. So happiness was pretty hard for me to find around the house. At least I know that going outside in nature whenever I'm eating lunch or dinner, it helps me to find that happiness. And also when I've saved multiple animals from our pool, I've saved butterflies, I've saved a walking stick today, which I can post somewhere on the screen that I took a picture of just today. Taking the time for myself has really helped me to not worry so much about other things that are happening in this house. I have actually continued the change plan. If you guys remember, I now have what I want to change and what I want to become. to kind of help me focus on my goals and what I want to achieve. One of the things that I have a problem with is overcoming my low self-esteem, and I have had that since, oh gosh, I was probably in junior high, maybe even before then when we moved first. It was hard for me to find friends over there because when I moved, everybody had their own cliques. It was hard for me to get along with people. A lot of people made fun of me. A lot of people were not nice to me. And it made me feel really bad about myself because I had so many friends where I came from before. It surprised me why these people could be so mean and why these people could be so hateful. I just didn't understand why. When I told my mom what I wanted to be when I was older, she completely disregarded me and said that basically I wasn't good enough. Whenever I was in relationships with different guys, I was always the one to get dumped. I always asked myself, what is wrong with me? Is it something I'm doing wrong? Am I too nice to people? I just had all these questions running through my head that were never answered. And I always thought that it was something wrong with me. So again, that didn't really help out the fact that I had family not supportive of me and friends not supportive of me, even friends in relationships that I started out with. It was hard for me to have that confidence in myself at a young age because of all of the hurt that I had received in the past. I feel like if that's something I can achieve, that is at least a big achievement for me. And I have a couple of ways to do that. I have a way to overcome low self-esteem. And I have a way on how to build self-esteem. I feel like if I can improve that, that'll help me with my confidence. And I also have the secret on how to be confident that are based on other people who are. All of these tips that I've gotten is actually from a YouTube source, which I will link down below in the description box because I think this is really helpful. His name is Ralph, and he goes by the title Infinite Waters. He is a psychologist that actually helps on a lot of different issues. A lot of the tips that I have gotten are actually from his videos. If I can improve my self-confidence, that'll help me out so much in just life. I believe at least that I'll have more people who will want to be around me, be able to stand up more for myself, which is what I want to do. If you can at least talk, if you can't talk with confidence, speak with confidence, even walk with confidence, I feel like people aren't going to really take you seriously. If I can at least get those two major issues dealt with, my self-esteem and my self-confidence issue, then I will be pretty good to go on getting the rest of this change dealt with. Another thing that I've needed to overcome are certain fears that I have. I even have one that he gave me here on overcoming fear. Because one of the things that was talked about is to write down the fears that you have. Decide if they are promoting your growth or delaying actions. And I've actually found that a lot of my fears are delaying the actions that I could be having, because I could be having so many more experiences, but because I'm afraid of stuff, it doesn't allow me to become my greatest version. You may have remembered that my first one is rejection and acceptance. So That is one that I feel like is gonna come with the others. The second one, however, is my fear of heights and falling. It's apparently the same kind of thing. I've discovered that that is actually passed down from my mother because she also has a fear of heights as well. It actually has been scientifically proven that fears can be passed down from your parents. I feel like this is another aspect that needs to be conquered, but very slowly. I feel like whenever I'm on a cliff or by something that has a very deep fall to it, I'm always afraid of looking down. I'm always afraid I'm going to fall, and I need some kind of railing to hold on to, because if I at least have something stable that will not fall down or will make me fall over, I feel secure. So I feel like that has to be something that has to be taken very lightly, considering it is a common fear with a lot of people. It's gonna take a while for me to get over, so although I'm not looking forward to it, it's something that I know needs to be dealt with. The other one I'm not quite sure how to handle is my fear of scorpions. And the only reason I have this fear is because of what's listed down below. I was stung by one in my room 15 years ago. And it was because I never kept my room clean. It was always so messy. I don't know how, but I guess when I carried my backpack upstairs to my room, the scorpion kind of traveled along with it, crawled up my leg, and it stung me on my finger. Now, although I didn't get any venom injected into me, my finger was numb for about 3 or 4 hours. As soon as that happened, I stayed on my bed. I ran out of my room, shut the door, and told people downstairs. My dad and my brother had to go up into my room, look for it, and they actually got it inside a Tupperware container, took it outside, and smashed it with a brick. I am not sure if this is something that can be overcome. Although I am moving to Sweden, there is probably no hope of me ever seeing one again, so that's why I circled that it was delaying actions. I don't feel like I'm gonna have an issue with this anymore. Granted, it was 15 years ago. It's something that I need to get over because it hasn't happened since. There was an incident recently where we had a scorpion inside the house. I was afraid at that time. I did not want to go into that room and deal with it. I just feel like this one is an unnecessary fear. Although it is something that I have experienced and I don't want to experience again, it's something I have no reason to be afraid of. Based on everything that I have gone through, I think at least the progress is going pretty well. I have been able to speak up at times when normally I wouldn't. I have said things to people that I normally wouldn't say. I'm trying to do the best I can with certain things that I would normally have a problem with ignoring. I have checkpoints here on what I would need to check off, and some of these are going to be more than once. My sister-in-law's 2 girls, their door is right outside mine, so I can hear when they argue, when they bicker, when they fight, and it is constant drama. There are people who come to their room and yell at them for not cleaning their room, for not doing their jobs, for every little thing, and I hear it because it is so loud. I'm thinking of picking and choosing my own battles because some are worth fighting for and some aren't even worth it at all. And I'm trying to get in the habit of listening to music so I won't have to hear it whenever that starts happening, because I focus on it and it is really hard to get my mind off of it. So some of these checkpoints are going to be hard to do, but I feel like they can be done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you watched it till the end, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to, you can hit that bell next to it so you can be notified on your phone when my new videos are posted. And if you guys have any comments or any tips or insight you want to leave me, go on ahead and leave those commented down below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!